What's up, Blizzard Nation? Welcome to Strictly Blizzness. What an awesome, nice round number of 180. Huge shout out to Edge VR, Creative Edge, and Cousin Subs. I don't think the promo code's still active. and we have a heck of an episode.
You know, Larry and I went there last night.
Yeah, and you didn't do it?
No. And we were checking out, and I go, oh, we could have used GBB fries.
Yeah.
And she just looked at me, and I went, online only, and she's like, okay.
Right.
So I don't know if it's still active, but I think the season is done. I'm just going to go with that.
Well, we got stuff on the table to talk about.
If you
Won't
can't
cry
tell
on the episode.
If you, yeah. Well, I'll be showing that because we have actual footage, so Sean will have running in the background at some point around all of this, all of the photos and the crying, because, yeah, there's a video circulating of me with Larry. Had just as much emotion, but of course Frayne had the angle of me, so I'm doing the ugly cry. So that got circulated around Green Bay, but we got a lot of great photos, and at the end of the day, we are the Eastern Conference champions.
Yes, we are.
And I'll tell you what, so first off, you know, in all games like this, there is a winner and there's a loser, and we had very gracious hosts. I want to give a shout out to Doug and his ownership, a shout out to Destiny, because she was working her patootie off that day, and also to Corey Ross, because he also worked his patootie off that day, and unfortunately they did not come out with the W. So like we said, there's always a winner, there's always a loser. Having that championship in your home and not walking away with a win, we absolutely know what that feels like the day of, the day after, the days after. But they had a great season. They had a great crowd. They had a very loud crowd.
Yep.
And it was a competitive game. Now we can go. Do you want to go into the specifics of the game and the beefs that people had about the game?
If you want to. I about threw up 3 times. That's all I remember.
So there's a picture of Ryan sitting behind me that Sean will absolutely show, where I'm like, yeah, hi. And Ryan's just kind of like, So I think there were several times when Ryan was in the stands that we were like, can you breathe? Can you breathe? And I tried having normal conversations with you during that game, and there was just a no-go. No-go. So it's very clear, and I think it helped Larry understand what you're like on game day, that as to why you're exhausted after, because there's so much that you're dealing with that it's not relaxing for you.
No.
Where it's a release for him, it's not for you. So.
Yeah, and
I'm not knocking it. It's just different.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of emotion. I mean, it's 11 years, 12 for you guys in the works. That was, you just want your good friends to win on top of the town, on top of Corey, on top of the players. So, yeah, it's not fun. And I mean that not in a bad way for me to watch the game and have your whatever past 6 months of hard work hanging on the line, and you can't can influence anything besides be there as a normal fan. And that is just, I struggle. Like,
Yeah.
And it might be watching my own kid play youth sports even that I struggle, right? You want people you love to win. So, yes, I had nothing else to say about that. Ridiculous environment too. Rewinding what you said, hats off to the Quad Cities. That was insanely loud.
Their
and a lot of
fans
hard
showed up
work.
and they
Yep.
have those horns, which this is just maybe they want to change this kind of thing, but either don't have the horns right around where your announcers are or get rid of the mic that brings in the crowd noise, because there's plenty of crowd noise. You don't need the mic, because on the feed, sometimes all you could hear were the horns
Oh,
and
sure.
not that. Because I listened to it. I left after the game, so I got home at like 4:30, and Joey was driving with me, so we listened to the entire game the whole
Wow.
way home because we had 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand Kate's text because Kate couldn't make it to the game. So she's like, "Mom, it is so loud. The feed is ridiculous. All I hear are those stupid horns." And I'm like, "They work though. They do work." It was very, very loud in there. And they had a great crowd on a very warm night. So, kudos to them, because they didn't have a lot of time to book that and get that going. And then, there's always that last minute rigmarole. We have some league stuff that we're working on behind the scenes. And then there was a camera person that wasn't there. And, again, Destiny was just trying to keep it all together.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you managed to catch a ball during the game, hats off to you. They were balls for the Eastern Championship. And shout out to our peeps that made that, who
Destroyer Rocks.
who also did the hats
And
as
the
well
shirts.
as the
Yep.
shirts that you see. Now, I've had people asking me, hey, can we get a shirt? Hey, can we get a hat? No. We as owners didn't even get, I think we have one shirt between the two of us. So that was meant for the team, truly just the team. Now, can we work on getting this exact shirt? Yeah, I guess we could. But we also have merch that's launching today that has our logo on it. So this is IFL. We're going to have Blizzard
Eastern Conference
Conference
stuff.
correct.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, which the link for that will go live today.
Yep.
So great game. We'll talk about the rest of the playoff games as well, but this was one that was down within that last minute. I mean, the last 3 minutes, all you need to do if you have it on demand, and those of you, I found out that if you didn't buy the playoff package, you could watch the first round of playoffs on the IFL network. We didn't switch that off.
Oh.
Now you can go back and you can look on demand if you want to watch it. So there were a couple of things in the last couple minutes of the game that really set the tone of it coming down to the last play of the game. So I want to kind of set that up a little bit. There was a point in the game where Matt lost his mind on the field, which Larry was like, I need to watch that again. I've never seen him have that much angst and energy. And basically what it was, and, there wasn't a lot of holding calls throughout the game, because I don't think that there really weren't any that would have changed the outcome of the game, if you will. It wasn't on a fourth down situation. It wasn't in a, real problem area. They let the guys play. But at the end, there was a holding call, which I'll get into in a minute. But before that, we had an illegal pass that Max was called for. And Matt just lost his mind, because whatever angle the ref was at, it looked like he had gone over the line of scrimmage, and he didn't. And if you look at the replay, the ball is out of his hand and his foot is in the air, so he's not quite over the line. Now, had we had a challenge available, we would have challenged that, and then it would have been a first down, and it would have progressed the game a little bit differently. But that's what Matt was complaining about. Then Corey was coming out to see what was going on during the possession, and the ref told him to come past the numbers. And Corey was like, hey, I'm not going to get a penalty for that. And as soon as he crossed the numbers, the flag went, so everybody thought it was on Corey. And Corey's like, what's happening? It wasn't on Corey. It was on Matt because he was livid. So I think that's the first, we'll call it questionable. Then we get down to, and the way that the feed worked, now we were looking at the end zone from our vantage point because we were standing in the end zone. So we saw it unfold, but the cameras stayed on the ball. And so this is when their receiver went into the stands along with one of our guys, covering the play. But in the end zone, there was a holding call, and, we have it on different actual cameras, not, again, the footage from the arena. There was a holding call in the end zone, and that absolutely, because it could have been a sack, but it would have definitely made Neal probably not make the connection with his receiver, and that would have resulted in a safety or the ball being down in the end zone, and that's why we got the safety at that point. And I know the Quad Cities fans were losing their minds because the guy caught it. It was in the stands, and then we got a safety, so we got a point off of it. So you can say the refs got involved in the game when they shouldn't have. That was the gist of what was happening. But I think in that kind of an instance, and I would agree if it was us as well, in that kind of instance, you have to call something like that because you're down to the last couple minutes of the game, and that definitely could change the outcome of the game. Now, what happened and you couldn't see was there were some shenanigans with fans happening, and that's why there was the delay. The security came out. There was a fan that hit our player and then pushed him out of the stands. And so they were just trying to assess, do we call fan interference? And I think Corey said it's not worth it. I don't know. I think the fan got ejected. I'm not sure. Security was called over, what have you. So, and I get it. When you have passion in your fans, that's the stuff that's going to happen. And you definitely don't. Number one, we don't want to see that on the cameras. And number two, we just don't want our fans to react that way. It was hard to sit among those fans as Blizzard. I mean, I had one guy, his nickname, I guess, is Deuce. I very much doubt he watches said show, but I was walking up and he told me, he just looked at me and said, "Go home." And I went, "I can't. My team's playing." And he said, "Mine is too." And I said, "Well, funny thing, we're both playing." But, he was serious about going home. And then other people around him were, "Oh, don't worry about him. He's, welcome to Quad Cities." And I said, "It's my first time being here. I had never been to Quad Cities before." And I said, "I love your passion." And he's like, "Oh, nice to meet you. Are you a fan?" And I said, "No, I'm one of the owners." Oh, and then, anytime I walked by after that to get a beverage or whatever, he wasn't paying attention and the people around him were like, "Hey, Deuce, Deuce, Deuce." And I just went, okay. But, you don't want to argue two different fan bases. You don't want fights. You don't want any of that kind of stuff. And kudos to the fans that held it together. The fans that didn't, because later there was stuff that got thrown on the field. Again, not covered by the cameras, which was fantastic. You can't throw stuff on our field. I mean, you guys don't know what that's like to have a red drink come flying out of the stands onto your field that now you have to clean. Not to mention you sprayed a bunch of other fans who were wondering what the heck is going on, when you toss your beer or whatever onto the field. That's not that great for the fans sitting around you either. And why they threw it was, and to me, we rewatched it again last night because Larry wanted to see it. The ball on the onside kick hit the wall. I mean, and you could hear it. It was a thud. Yes, they recovered it, but where it hit the wall, it hadn't advanced the 10 yards that it's supposed to. And that's why they didn't get possession of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the refs went to review that and said, in fact, it had not gone 10 yards. So it's a dead ball at that point. It's not theirs as a recovered kick. And then we all know how the game ended. So a very close game. It truly, and I said it right at the beginning, we started out great, but I said right at the beginning to Todd as well as to Larry, and I don't know if you were paying attention either, I said it to you, it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. And that is what it ended up being. But for a playoff game, I think that is what you want. That's the same thing that happened in Vegas. That was a well-fought game. San Diego stayed in it. Vegas stayed in it. And in the last couple of seconds, it was a tie game.
Yep.
And it went into overtime, and Vegas walked away with the win. You know, the round of playoff games before that, we had the biggest spread from a win perspective against Tulsa, and then the Arizona game against San Diego had not aired yet when we had our last show. And if you follow the IFL, you know the controversy around the game. And I will say this because I know we have Arizona fans that watch this. Hi, Ashley. And family. I can't just say it's just Ashley. But it felt ucky to end the way that it ended. There's no question. And they had ref issues throughout that game. We as a league, I will say this, we as a league have to do something different in the reviewing of plays, whether that means adding on someone to that staff or having someone that's observing the feed from afar to review touchdowns and review any type of possession change just to make sure so that challenges aren't being used at certain times. I think that's one way to make it so that you're not without a challenge near the end of the game. Because unfortunately, both Corey and Corey needed to use challenges early in the game. Kevin had to use them early in the game. Mike had, every coach had to use them. And they're there for a reason, but we can't have everything being challenged, right? I mean, that becomes an issue and a delay of the game. But I think that from a play standpoint, Arizona absolutely has a beef that is viable in how that game unfolded. However, as a league, overturning the outcome of a game, there's no professional sport that would do that after the fact. I mean, human error is human error, unfortunately. But you had it in the soccer world last year with Manchester. It's happened in the MLB. It's happened in hockey in the NHL. It's happened in the NBA. It's happened NFL. And it's unfortunate. So you can protest the outcome, but I don't know that protesting it means that you get it overturned. So I will say Arizona has an absolute, yes, a beef. I don't agree with how Kevin voiced said grief. You can't go and annihilate your people and your league and your venue and not expect repercussions. I would not allow an employee to do that. I would think as an owner, if I did that, I would get chastised. And even things that I've done here that I've had to go back and apologize for wasn't done in a public setting. There's a time and a place. And unfortunately, the league got a little too much coverage on that. And now there's a hashtag of the Indoor Fraud League, which, don't tell people not to go to the championship because you're mad about your team, because your team is still part of the IFL. So if you say don't go to IFL games, you're not going to go to Rattler games anymore. So again, that's my 2 cents, and it's only worth that. It's worth 2 cents. My opinion is that It shouldn't have been done in a public forum, especially to the extent that it went. I mean, there were, and I love Kevin Guy, and I get his passion. I love his passion, but there's a time and a place on where to air said passion. So that's my 2 cents on that game. And our 3 cents on the playoffs. So, a great ending. I mean, again, all of them were close except for our game with Tulsa. And it feels really good, I will tell you this, to be going to the championship. It felt different, and we said it during our interviews with, we had a videographer asking questions that are going to be aired on an IFL sponsored thing later. Our energy this year was different, and can you speak to that at all? Have you interacted with the guys, or did you feel anything leading up to that game? Did you have
I mean, in
interaction?
11 years of getting careful what I say so I'm not crying on the show here. Frick!
Ooh, that ship sailed really quick.
And getting to do this for you guys, yeah. I mean, say I don't watch football on here, but I feel that, and this team felt like an indoor football team that in a blink of an eye could put 60 points on people. Like Corey's defense last year was something special, but in an indoor football game predicated on points, this team felt different, right? And whether Max continues to play ball or not, like I don't think that young man is gonna not get to go out on his shield. I don't think he's going and wasn't going to let us lose, and it's a team effort. Enam. But yeah, it did. It did. You could feel that. I don't watch games. I listen to them, and whether that's my love of music or just you can also tell how the crowd reacts, what the score is, which is a really unique thing. I will pace around the rush center and listen as I'm doing my job. Yeah, it felt different. It really did. Like whatever happens next, because we have not played a Mike Davis-led team in a long time, and it is an absolute privilege to play. And against that guy, who I have a lot of respect for in this industry too. I mean, Mike wrote a book on indoor football along with Todd, jokingly, that I'd read when I was first starting this job. Mm-hmm. Those two were the two I would call a lot. I don't know if Mike watches this, but congratulations. And it's cool for me, who along with you and Larry have taught me so much. Those two who have been around the indoor game always answer the phone, always answer any question I have. And at the time, Todd was an opponent, Mike was an opponent. It's just they really taught me a lot. And outside of you and Larry, I don't know if I'd be here if they hadn't answered some questions. So
well, I won't look at you because I don't need to start as well.
Yeah. So yeah, it did feel different, Kathy. Like it really did. And I know it's hard to watch that game because it can't affect it when we're used to. We're 8-1 at home this year, which is absolutely ridiculous. And huge kudos to all the Blizzard staff and fans that made that happen. But yeah, it felt different, and it still does.
It does, and I think the main thing was they didn't lose focus.
Yep.
And Corey has managed to keep them in check, so much so. This is behind the scenes show, so I can say this. Andre Williams came to the sideline and was like, "Can you guys get the coaches under control? They need to calm down." When you have a player saying that, and that was during that whole Matt situation. And again, I love the passion of what Matt was fighting for his guy and the outcome of the game. And, there was so much at stake, and then they ended up getting a touchdown after that. And then Dr. Frayne was losing his mind. Like, do they not understand what's at stake here? We have to play defense. And it just, the energy around who needed to have the energy when they had it was definitely palpable. And the guys remained focused. And I think that's what we lost last year. They got in their heads when Massachusetts did a couple of things or said a couple of things or were up by a touchdown. That didn't happen this year. When Quad Cities answered on points every single time, we kept our focus, we kept our head in the game, and, move forward.
I mean, I couldn't hear, guys, for those of you guys who couldn't hear that on the feed, like, a testament to Matt and Corey and whatever we worked on the silent count, because I have not, even when we've had 6,000 in the rush, which I have never heard that. We should have, we were very much at a disadvantage there. So yeah, it felt different, and it was, again, to your point, this team is really dialed in, and a long time coming. We always talk about how long Kathy's done it and I've done it. Corey's been here that entire time too, so in some capacity on this coaching staff. So shout out to Coach for all the work you've put in theory about to pay off, and did pay off, because this is historic. This is the first ever. So
It's the first ever for our ownership.
yep.
It's the second ever in the Blizzard name.
Yep.
So that was pre us. And going to the championship is a big deal. When we went the last time, we were in the AF2. So it's been a while.
Yeah, and when you see the IFL post first ever for this, that's in the IFL. That's
Correct.
a great call out. This is the first time ever for the IFL Blizzard, but yes, there was
Right.
pre-IFL Blizzard.
Right.
Yep.
So, at the end of the day, it's a pretty cool thing just to go to the dance.
Yep.
And that's really, the idea is not to just go, it's to come home with a win. But Mike Davis is thinking the same thing.
Yep.
So, I have been talking to him.
Third year as Nighthawks too, so he's on a
Yeah,
If the Nighthawks exist, so again another awesome thing. So yeah.
Right. And we have a former Blizzard quarterback on their team, so there's going to be a lot of film watching by both coaches and input from other coaches to those coaches. But at the end of the day, they're responsible for their teams, and we have the right guy at the helm for what we're doing. And, Vegas is known for their offense. I mean, clearly they have an offense that can put points up. We're number one in offense. Our defense needs to show up because we need to stop their offense. That's the only way we win that game.
The
We have
first two
to stop
rounds of
them.
playoffs have showed that we are, outside of the defense is flipping a switch, which we hope they do. We are headed for what indoor football wants in the shootout. So
It will be it will be a good game.
Yep.
So let's talk about that. Those of you that live on the West Coast, go to the game.
Yeah.
Go to the game to support the IFL. Pick your West Coast team. Pick us. Pick whoever you want, but go to the game. And if you are flying from Green Bay, I do have some tidbits for you. We are going to be posting links for the room blocks. So even those of you that are out on the West Coast, if you want to be staying in Tucson, we will be posting links on social media for blocks of rooms that are available. We're staying at the DoubleTree. That's where the teams stay. That's where our league meetings. That's where all of that's happening. But we do have blocks of room. There's different Marriott affiliated hotels that are part of the blocks. I actually have their names. So this is all in downtown Tucson. So if you're flying the Tucson, my 2 cents would be don't bother renting a car. Just take an Uber from the airport, which is about 15-20 minutes, to downtown. There's places to eat. There's hotels all within walking distance of the arena. So there's really no reason to have a rental car unless you're staying at a resort like in the mountains or something, then that's different. So the Leo Kent Hotel is one that we will have a link for, as well as an AC hotel. It's called the AC Hotel. And then the Hampton, which is a dual Hampton Inn, as well as their hotel suites that they do through Hampton. So all good stuff. Again, links that we'll be sending out. If you're coming out, Media Day is on Friday. I think that's open to the public.
I think so. Yeah.
And, absolutely we'd love to have fans there, which would mean you'd need to be in town on Friday by like noonish. Out of Appleton, there's Allegiant Air, which would get you Thursday to Sunday because they only fly on Thursdays and Sundays. So you could go Thursday to Sunday, which would get you into Tucson on Thursday. You'd have to pay for your hotel then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then you would fly out on Sunday. With Allegiant, though, you're not flying into Tucson, you're flying into Phoenix. So then you have a 2-hour ride to Tucson.
Got it.
So it's what do you can fly Southwest out of Milwaukee and fly directly into Tucson. You can take Allegiant, which is a cheaper air flight, but then you got that 2-hour thing that you got to deal with to get back to Phoenix from Tucson if you're doing that. So, there's a lot of things to think about. Southwest out of Appleton, Southwest out of Milwaukee. I think it's just out of Milwaukee. Milwaukee or Midway Southwest to Tucson it can be a direct flight or a stopover and then into Tucson. So if you're flying right into Tucson, no need for a car. If you're flying into Phoenix, you might I wouldn't Uber the 2 hours. That would be kind of costly. So you might want to consider a car. So those are all things for you to consider. Ryan will be posting not only tickets, how you get your tickets, but then also how you get your hotel room rate for the IFL Championship. So that's all stuff that, you guys as fans, we'd love to see you there. I think we had people pricing out of Green Bay with American. It was around $390 round trip to go in and out of Tucson. I don't think people looked at, Green Bay to Phoenix, but those are all of your choices that you have. Yeah, I think that's all I have, unless you have more around the posting of.
No. Watch that stuff if you plan on going, and we will have a view party here at Marcus Theaters.
Okay.
So, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. And you will need to sign up.
Yeah, we will get a link up because that is free. Just please buy a popcorn or a soda and support our amazing partners at Marcus East. There's a Packer preseason game that night. That's why it's not at a sports bar and it's not over near the stadium here. That is at Marcus East. That will be free, but space is limited because we will have up to 2 theaters depending on the response. Please support them by purchasing some concessions. I was texting Richard before we went on air here. I believe the plan is Blizzard fans can arrive as early as 8:30, and the game fires up at 9:30 Central Time. So.
Oh, 9:30. It's
yeah.
a 7:30 game.
It's a 7:30 game. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so it's nighttime, and that's dictated by CBS Sports.
Yep.
So that is where you will be able to watch it, is CBS Sports. So you have to have that on your part of your menu in your DirecTV or Dish package, or some affiliation with CBS Sports. But it will be on CBS Sports as national coverage, so you can watch it there. But again, we'd love to see. I know there are Blizzard fans that are coming to the game. We'd love to see you at the game.
Or at Marcus.
Or at Marcus.
Part of our intern staff and staff will be hosting that. So there will be Blizzard bodies at Marcus running that. So
yeah. All right. Well, that was a lot of stuff. Did we cover everything I said we were going to cover?
Mm-hmm. Actually, we got it all.
Okay.
Yep.
Did a lot of talking. Can you talk for a little bit?
I got nothing else. I was we probably, now that it's on air, aren't having an episode next week unless there's anything to cover, because you're gonna have your hands full, as will I, right? I mean, like, unless there's more travel and stuff, because there won't be any.
I think we should have.
Okay, cool. There will be an episode.
I think there will be an episode,
Okay.
and here's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to do team awards in town
Oh yeah. Yep.
before then, right?
That's the hope. There's a message last night that we're trying to schedule that. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think we should cover the team awards that we give to our team.
Cool.
Like Offensive Player of the Year, Joe Lunchbox. We'll talk about
Yep.
that. And I think we should have Corey on the show.
Okay.
If not Corey Max.
Right on.
Or both. We
Cool.
can talk about that. But yeah, we will have a pre-travel, pre-game show next week.
Awesome. That's what I got.
I'm just running through everything in my head. I have so much going. If I look tired, I am. I'm very tired.
Same.
But I think we covered everything. There's a box in our way, so be careful how we.
Yeah. Should we hit box with it?
Do we want to hit the?
Crush
that's
him.
so nice. Let's go up here.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay,
Should we hit him with it?
let's hit him with it. Go Blizz.
Don't forget to like, follow,
Subscribe,
share.
and ring that notification bell to get all of our content in your inbox.